just mic'd up with Mikie Mahtook. Got the boys in. I got Lloyd. We got Jmitch. We got Jackie Boyd.
He tried to jump up and he might have knocked it in.
Good timing. Let's go. What a start to the Monday. I mean, I'm from Lafayette. My boys would come in and say,
oh, God. So I'm me and Joe on the ground. I got Joe in the headlock. And he's sitting there. He's punching me in the stomach, like, punching me.
Here, is everyone sitting around? Who here thinks Ochinko can practice today after having 5 full beers? And he goes, Chad Jones, right? Chad's doing the team.
6 minutes.
For 7 minutes, right? Chad's like, no, man, I don't think Ochinko can practice today. And I was like, I look back, I'm like, Jesus Christ. I saw you there. You were more fucked up than me.
On the spirit plane had some issues, I think. She was sleep farting.
You heard her or you just thought it was her?
I sat right next to her and I smelled it.
Whoa. What was that?
Time for the show.
Now, when you do go to spring training, are you going to bring your chinchilla and your turtle? My dad tell you about it?
The SEC is, God, they hate fat people. I mean, I get crushed for that. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man.
Hey, just the South, bro. You got a bunch of food down here. Like they should all
Players, look at Lloyd.
You know what, Lloyd?
You're looking for a recruiting coordinator, coach. I'm here.
He's like, I'll piss my pants right now.
No way.
We're wearing gray pants, long gray pants. He goes, I'll piss my pants right now.
A little traveling call. Hello. Welcome back to Mike.
You got a 5-second violation.
It is Wednesday, January 24th. Lloyd got a traveling call going the other direction. He gave me a 3 and then started it before, but it's okay. We got a big show for you today. Lots to talk about. LSU basketball is going on right now. They're down 21-20. I think halfway to go in the a little less than halfway to go in the first half. LSU football officially finalized their staff, right? Joe Sloan and Cortez Hankton, co-OCs. We were half right. We weren't 100% right. We're half right. We didn't know. We knew that Joe Sloan was going to be the OC. We just didn't know what they were going to do with Cortez Hankton. I think this is the best of both worlds. Joe Sloan is going to continue calling plays. It's going to be a collaborative effort in the game plan, but Joe Sloan will be the play caller. So congrats to them. And then they bring in tight ends coach from Tulane. What's his name? Nagle?
Slade Nagle.
Slade Nagle. Tight ends coach from Tulane. Finalizing a deal. Actually just finalized. I saw on Twitter. He said thank you uptown. So he is now the tight ends coach. LSU football has officially finalized their coaching staff going into next year. There's also rumors. I think there may be a little bit more than rumors now that Austin Thomas, if you heard that name, remember that name, he's been here. This will be his 3rd stint back at LSU. He's done a really good job. He's coming from Alabama to be the general manager, recruiting guy here in Baton Rouge. He's done a really good job when he was here. For some reason, got run out, went to Alabama.
It's a fluid situation.
How do you get run out and then go to Alabama? That doesn't make sense to me. But he goes to Alabama. Now he's coming back.
Ole Miss.
Oh, is it Ole Miss?
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. That's right. Ole Miss, not bad. Goes to Ole Miss. Now he's coming back to LSU.
Ole Miss thinks they're the new Alabama. If you've seen Lane.
Yeah, Lane Kiffin didn't like it. Lane Kiffin's going back and forth on Twitter, kind of trolling the guys, but Austin Thomas coming back. I think that's a big pickup for LSU. Today is the 24th. If you know the schedule of women's basketball, the 25th is a big day. All right, this is a game that everybody's been circling from the beginning of the season, from last year probably. Whenever the schedule came out, we have Joe Schwartz in studio. He took a week off last week.
Rough week.
The streak ended. It's okay. Every streak has to come to an end at some point. Start a new streak. This will be it. Joe is in studio. We're going to get to him, talk all things women's basketball. It's going to be a loud PMAC tomorrow. It's going to be very fun. It's going to be very entertaining, very energetic atmosphere. He's going to give us all the deets on it. He's going to talk about how they've prepared for this game, kind of what they're doing to combat South Carolina, who's playing really good basketball, and obviously the top two teams in the SEC right now. In other football news, Jim Harbaugh to the NFL, going to the Los Angeles Chargers. If only somebody on the show had said that middle of the football NFL season when Jim Harbaugh was suspended this for the first time, actually. No, maybe the second time. The second time. If only somebody on this show had made that prediction, and I'm not saying me because I didn't. I thought he was going to the Bears. The Bears' job's not opening. My guy right here, Jared Mitchell,
Been calling it for a minute.
made that announcement a long, long time ago, and
Saying
it
it for a
come
while.
to fruition. So congratulations on your prediction.
Actually, it was me and Jim talked about this for a while.
He called you and told you that, huh?
Got to replace Connor Stallion somehow.
Breaking news, add a little inside scoop.
Yeah, it's good though. Look, he's a man of his word.
Yes.
He told you what he was going to do when he did it.
We cannot relate.
He knew
Now-
he knew we weren't getting any love for being a football show, so I said I needed to kind of push this along.
Right. And now listen, people are going to look at the situation and say, "Oh, Brian Kelly to Michigan." Don't think that's going to happen. Sherman Moore is going to be, I'd imagine he's the front runner to get the job because he did a really good job whenever Jim was gone. And they want to keep that culture after winning a national championship. They don't want their guys to leave. They don't want the same thing that's happening right now at Alabama to happen over there. And so I think they're going to try to stay in-house and keep him there. So we'll see what happens there, but I don't think Brian Kelly is going to be leaving to go to Michigan anytime soon. I think especially with what they've done right now at LSU and with Nick Saban gone and the SEC feeling like it's just up for grabs right now, there's no reason, in my mind, for him to leave and go elsewhere. I don't think you can get much better of an opportunity and a job that you have right now, especially after going into your third year, right? So
Just did all of the work.
did all the work.
I think we also saw like all these coaches basically tell you like if you got a top job, you keep a top job, right? Like the guy at Oregon said, "Nah, I'm not going to Alabama." Lane, nah. Sarkisian, nah. Like if you got a top job, you keep a top job.
You're making all these moves. You're bringing all these coaches in. You're bringing all these recruits.
You get
in,
all the
like,
resources. Like
Yeah, this is the job you stay. So I'd expect him to stay at LSU. Maybe some rumors, but I don't think that anything's going to come out of it. It's also Wednesday, which means it's also Ask Mikie and Mitch Day. We have some questions in the chat, or we have some questions on Twitter. Please put your questions in the chat if you want us to ask questions, answer any of your questions, have a conversation with us, whatever you want. Throw it in there. We're here to help. We're here to talk. We're here to have a good time.
Life advice.
Well, I don't know if you want that.
Open book.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an open book. I don't know if you want my life advice.
I do not want your life.
My life. You don't want my life. But the man of the hour got on the show. He came in early. I made you wait for a little bit before we got to you. Assistant coach, the unofficial official hype man of the student section
Yes.
of women's basketball, Joe Schwartz. Welcome back to the show, man.
Thank you. It's more like community engagement. It's not only
Look at that.
It's not only
Yeah.
the student section.
Look at
It's
that.
it's everyone in the Baton Rouge community.
It's a very official title right there. I like that.
That's it.
You know, nowadays, like all these staffs are adding titles to everything, and at the end of the day, it's you all work for your head coach, and he or she, in my case, she, asks you to do certain things, and one of the things that she has asked me to do is get the community involved, along with other coaches on our staff. Everyone has their own role, and they all do it very well. But I think with Kramer have playing baseball here, he knows how this community works.
They're related?
They are.
I
That
know
is
that. I know that.
Kramer's mom is Kim Mulkey.
Ever played baseball at LSU?
He did.
Didn't know that.
We're a baseball show. You need to know this.
Oh,
things.
yeah.
I didn't know
Come
that.
on,
I didn't know
You need to know
that.
these things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's
You go to
kind of
Omaha or
cool.
something?
Y'all won championships though. That's what we have in common.
We did.
He did.
We did.
State championship.
Let's go.
I mean, if they didn't want me at the next level, what can I do? I ran out of eligibility.
Exactly.
Got mine when I could.
You ran out of high school eligibility in college.
I didn't want to
Got
state
to have a
championship.
COVID year. Yeah, I got a state championship over him. So
Not
never
over
won-
me.
yeah.
Not over
I never
me.
won
You
a
didn't
state
beat
championship.
us. You
I
didn't
lost
beat
to the
us.
team that won state all 4 years in high school, so that.
Oh, that's kind of the worst.
Yeah.
That's the worst. God.
But no, it's kind of
I
fun
peaked in
to
high school. What do you want?
to be in this position. Like, you get to go out and go to local businesses, restaurants.
Daytime out or nighttime?
You get to go out.
Both.
Oh.
All of the above. I mean,
You're a nice advocate of women's basketball.
women's
and you get to
basketball.
push it and promote it and do those types of things, which are great. You've done a great job doing that.
It's funny, like, we joke about stuff like this, but I was talking to Jennifer Roberts, who's, look at roles. She's the first NIL hire in all of college athletics in her role. We were talking today, and I said, Jen, isn't it funny how our first year that we were here, we literally had to go drive Mulkey around on a golf cart to all the fraternity and sorority houses and beg them to come to our games. And last night I was at a little deal with the IFC and Panhellenic social chairs and presidents, and they're like trying to figure out what time they need to be at the PMAC tomorrow, wondering if they're even going to be able to get into the game because it's going to be so packed. So it's kind of cool to see how we've progressed over the past 2.5 years. But it's also important to understand that we can't take it for granted because, well, yeah, we are a hot commodity right now. We have to be able to sustain it, and we can't take for granted that we have the best student section in the country. We have to continue to find ways to make it better or keep them coming back. And yeah, a lot of that has to do with the product on the court and our record and the players, but at the end of the day, like, our games are an event. It's a show, and we're putting a good product out that, like I said, take that for granted.
So you had the opportunity to play South Carolina at South Carolina.
Yep.
Right. Kind of took it to y'all a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? It was kind of I think it was a great thing for y'all as a team. I think it showed you where you were. It was a nice measuring stick.
Yep.
And then y'all ended up going on to win the national championship and took care of business.
Yeah.
Coming into this year, came into the season with a lot of high hopes, right? Oh, we're going to be better. We have a lot of returners. We have a lot of transfers. Some of the best transfers in the country came in. We have a really good recruiting class. We're going to be better than we were last year, back-to-back, that whole deal, all the hype. Then you go through and you have first game of the season, you get a loss. Great eye-opener, nice little welcome back to reality type thing. You get on a 12-13, whatever, 14-game losing streak. Y'all ended up slipping up again. I mean, winning streak. Winning streak, not losing streak. Winning streak. Then you slip up again, right? Another little, kind of like a little jab.
Yeah.
But all that time, they kept you at the 7th ranking, never wanted to move you up.
9 weeks in a
Then you
row.
go back. Now you're ranked back in the top 10. You're playing South Carolina. You get to come here and do it at home. What are y'all looking most forward to? 1, and 2, how do you prepare for a team like that?
Well, I think let's go back to what you talked about last year. We had the opportunity to play at South Carolina. It was on Super Bowl Sunday. A lot of hype behind the game. We were undefeated at the time. They were undefeated at the time. They were picked to win the SEC, probably the favorite to win the national championship at the time. But you want to talk about atmosphere. I played in Allen Fieldhouse and Hilton Coliseum were probably the top 2 venues when I was in college at Texas. Last year at South Carolina might top those 2.
Wow.
Just start to finish, pregame, the energy, their fans. But the difference, I was on the men's side as a player. Now on the women's side, to see how this game has grown and the interest that women's basketball has. The way I look at it, now it's our turn. Okay, we saw what South Carolina had last year. How can we make that our atmosphere? How can we make it a show and make people want to come to the game tomorrow? So I think one of the things we're looking forward to is the atmosphere tomorrow. Dear God, please let the weather hold off. I know it rains here, but
Supposed to rain again tomorrow.
It's supposed to rain a little bit tomorrow, but in the morning, and then think by the afternoon there's scattered showers.
But it rained a lot today.
Yeah, it did.
What a dreary day this has been.
It's
Tell
been
by your
dreary.
energy level.
Hey, easy over there.
Just I'm telling you, he's like a
Easy
puppy
over there.
dog. If it
I'm ready. I'm
rains-
good. I'm ready. I'm good. I'm here.
There we go. There we
I'm
go.
here.
That's all
I'm
I
here.
needed.
But yeah, I think you start with the atmosphere, but the atmosphere isn't something that the players, I think, should really focus too much on. I think last year the atmosphere really affected our players in a way where you had a lot of freshmen going into that game and a lot of players who had never been in an atmosphere like that, just deer in the headlights.
Well, this one's supposed to be even more.
So
how do you keep them on task right here?
So I think as the year progressed last year, after South Carolina, crowds started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you roll into this year, we've broken every attendance record for opposing teams in the conference. When we go on the road, the opposing team breaks their attendance record for women's basketball. So we're drawing big crowds. Our kids are used to big crowds. Our kids are used to playing in front of big crowds at home. We had 12,800 at our game against Arkansas on Sunday. And the crowd was into it early, but when you win a game by 30, people kind of got quiet and they rolled out to go to the baseball banquet, which isn't a problem.
Which is great.
It's great.
We were there.
We took care of business.
That.
Yeah, y'all did that for us.
Yeah, we did it for y'all. So now it's like, fans, we need y'all. We count on y'all. But for our players, I think it's becoming natural to them, and they embrace it. I know Michaela Williams the other night in the Arkansas game, she hit a couple shots early. Michaela actually played for an Arkansas AAU team when she was growing up. So I think it was a little bit personal for her. And I think from a preparation standpoint, we use things from previous games to learn from, whether they're good or bad. And you try and keep the kids as focused as possible, but you don't want to overwhelm them. I mean, at the end of the day, we're still in January. We've got a lot of basketball left to be played. You hate to use the cliche, but this is just another game. I mean, it's the biggest game we've had so far this year, but every game, your next game is the biggest game. So
you can say that, but
yeah.
you know that this has been
Well, I mean,
circled.
look, the second loss of the season, I don't think they thought was a big game, but big game they lost.
Well, yeah, but that's what I want to know. Like, the next game is your biggest game. We all know that, but this is the elephant that's been in the room since the schedule's been released.
Yeah.
And I would imagine that the coaching staff knows that the players know that. Is there anything that's done different from the coaching staff standpoint to kind of put the players in the mindset they need to be to actually go out there and perform? Because there is going to be a lot of stuff going on, a lot of extracurricular.
I think one thing you've got to look at is the disrespect that we're still getting. Yeah, we've lost 2 games. Yeah, we're ranked number 9 in the country. Yeah, people think our team's not clicking. We have all this transfers. People have said we're a super team, fabulous 5, whatever you want to call it. We're nowhere near playing our best basketball yet. Our starting lineup has played less than 10 games together because of the injuries, suspensions, whatever you want to talk about. But we were still picked to win the conference. We were still preseason number 1, and we're still the defending national champions. So at the end of the day, like, no matter what happens tomorrow, we've got to go into that game knowing that and using that as motivation, and teams are still viewing us as the underdog.
Yeah. It's almost like this game has been circled and it's been highlighted for so long that, like, regardless of what happens, it's going to be nice to get past it.
Yeah,
Right?
I think for both teams, because both teams are completely different. South Carolina lost 5 starters last year, but they had role players who played significant minutes for them. We lost Alexis Morris and LaDeja and Jasmine Carson, but we have players that have stepped in. So while the teams are completely different, the styles of play are still very similar. You've got 2 coaches who have done quite a bit. I mean, they have 6 national championships between the 2 of them, 4 on our side too with Dawn.
I'm glad you.
So I just had to clarify. Kim has 4, Dawn has 2. I mean, both were great players in their respective leagues and I mean, both I think have played for Team USA. There's gonna be a lot of history in the PMAC tomorrow, just from a college game day standpoint.
Be a lot of energy, a lot of
buzz.
Yeah, like
A lot of hostility.
that's the word I was looking for.
hostility,
That
yeah.
was the word.
Respectful hostility.
Yeah.
That was the word I was looking for. Hostility, right? Like, you know, Dawn obviously has her opinions, and like people may not like the way she goes about things on social media, and you know,
We wouldn't know.
we wouldn't know. We were blocked by her, but yeah, she got us. And some people may not like the way Kim goes about some stuff. So
Exactly.
to each their own. Everybody has the people, their fans, each coach has, you know, their critics. But you know, both have been arguably one of the top two of the top coaches in women's college basketball, and have had their teams play at a very high level. So there's gonna be no love loss tomorrow, especially through the student section. And I think what I'm most excited to see is what the atmosphere is going to be like, and the hype behind it, and the fans coming in, the students coming in. Can you talk a little bit about how excited you are to see the student section and what it's going to be like?
Yeah, I mean, tomorrow is one of those days like y'all have talked about. We've had circled for a while. The student section's been great for us. Even over the holidays, kids that lived in Baton Rouge or are from out of town came back for our home games. But now that we're in the thick of conference play, you know, it's going to be a whiteout. Last year and the year before against South Carolina was a whiteout, but it was during Christmas break. So the students didn't get to fully experience that. Last year, the whiteout was against Tennessee. A little bit different atmosphere. Not as much hype because it's Tennessee versus South Carolina. But I think one of the things that I need to address last year, there was a lot of baby powder involved before the game.
A white
And not because of you know, an itchy butt.
Yeah, it was just
Not to keep away chafing. That was
not to keep the chafing away.
it was just kind of
Good
the
football team.
a
Boot
little
your foot page.
like LeBron type celebration pregame. The students were into it, but unfortunately, a lot of that baby powder got on the court right before the game, and the surface was slippery, and put our facilities people in a frenzy. So I know I've seen a lot of pictures of baby powder on social media. Tomorrow night, I have been warned.
PSA.
If any baby powder is thrown, we will be assessed a technical foul before the game.
Not good.
Do not try and bring baby powder into the game. Do not throw baby powder into the game.
Wait, what if a South Carolina fan does it?
That's kind of bush.
They will be escorted out. If you are caught with baby powder or throwing baby powder up,
Wow. What if South Carolina fans are listening to this
Show up in purple.
and trying to set us up?
Show up in purple
Uh-huh.
and throw some baby powder. That's kind of bush.
Bush.
Or if you're LSU.
well, if you're LSU students or
Wear
fans,
South
wear
Carolina.
white because it is a whiteout.
Yes.
Um,
Or a Philly jersey.
No.
you saw what happened to them their last 7 games of the season.
No, I was doing it for Don.
No, I know, but why?
No.
Just wanted to put up that I'd like.
Let him finish his
be
PSA.
maybe an
Let him-
eyesore.
Let him finish his PSA.
So bottom line, we do not want a technical foul to start the game tomorrow. That would not be good. I know my boss would not appreciate that. So we will have lots of other stuff in the student section tomorrow
to entertain
the crowd that can be used pregame, during the game. The other thing I would like to say, because it was brought up in Coach's radio show last night, and it's a kind of a sore subject because you looked last week, Ohio State upsets Iowa on their home floor, and Ohio State stormed the court. Not only is storming the court dangerous, but we're LSU. We're the defending national champions. If we win tomorrow night, student section, we do not need to storm the court. Let our players come celebrate in the student section with you guys. They will appreciate that 100 times more than y'all running onto the floor. I think at LSU, you've got to act like you've been there before. We have been there before. We're the defending national champions.
Been there most recent.
The banner literally hangs above the student section because of what y'all do for our program. So tomorrow night, no baby powder, no storm in the court.
And that's it.
No powder, no problem. Party in the PMAC. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a great atmosphere.
They'll have enough stuff in the student section that you are going to be able to entertain yourself and distract and do things and make it fun.
Yeah.
Without the baby powder.
A fun, healthy environment, but no baby powder.
Now-
And no storming.
And
No
then,
storming.
and then you don't have to worry. If you don't storm the court, then you don't have to worry about the stuff that happened.
Maybe a
at
flop.
Iowa, maybe a flop.
He said, she said.
Well, I don't think it's a he said, she said. I think the camera, the
she
eye in
said,
the
she
sky
said.
caught her.
But and I'm talking like in football, players have gotten
No,
into
that's
it with
for sure. I mean,
fans.
Kevin Falk punched the kid in the face.
Well, what was it?
Coach.
Alabama?
No, oh yeah, he
Struck
did
the
punch a coach in
cheerleader,
the
I
face.
think. An Alabama player hit a cheerleader or a female student athlete
Yeah.
running off at Tennessee or Ole
Got
Miss or
suspended
something.
a quarter.
Like,
Oh no, it was Georgia.
Georgia, yeah.
And he
Trey Burton.
ended up being at Alabama, who was a good receiver for them.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
2 years.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. I think we've got to embrace that fun. We've got to use it to our advantage. I know a lot of coaches have come into the PMAC over the past 2 years and just talked about the environment. Arkansas's coach last weekend was raving about it. Missouri's coach and that's kind of, it gives our staff and our program satisfaction to know that it's because of the product that we're putting on the floor. And it's because of our head coach. It's, what is Mulkey going to wear tomorrow night? What's Angel Reese going to do? What's Flagey going to do? Is like Van Lith, McKay, like
Who's balling again?
balling. Yeah. People wanted to start talking bad about her. Look what she's done the past 4 or 5 games. She's fitting into her role. Poa, she leads, I think, the conference in charges taken. We're getting to a point now in our season where things are slowly starting to click. The pieces are slowly being put together. So it's going to be fun tomorrow night.
I can't get away from the atmosphere that is tomorrow and how y'all have kind of built this thing to where you get a lot of like crowds about like kind of what you'll get tomorrow night. Have you had upperclassmen kind of bring these younger kids, these freshmen, and some of these transfers kind of along the way and kind of give them the game plan of how this thing's going to go when it comes to, hey, this is what you're going to see crowd-wise, atmosphere-wise. This is what you need to kind of be ready for.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing when experience comes into play because you have to look at our wing play and our guards. You've got Flagey on one wing and you've got Michaela on the other. You've got a freshman and a sophomore. But then you have Van Lith, who is a senior, played in environments like this before. You've got Angel, who's played in environments before. But then your other post, Anissa, at DePaul, yeah, she played in probably some environments like this, but she's probably not played in as rowdy of an environment as she's going to be in. Aaliyah Del Rosario, who will probably need to give us minutes tomorrow as a freshman. It'll probably be the craziest environment she's played in. Poa has played in environments like this. So you've got to find that balance between the young kids on the team and not scare them, but prepare them for what they're going to see. The good thing is it's on our home court. So it's our fans, and they've gotten a small taste of what it's going to be like. But I don't even think the small taste is going to come into play tomorrow. I think even as a coach, you get butterflies when you see stuff like that. Not bad butterflies, but just to see like
that. This is what you showed up for, butterfly.
Right. This is
Came here for this.
This is why we're here.
Now we talked a lot about the atmosphere. Let's talk a little bit about the game.
Yeah.
Right. Both teams are really good. South Carolina, and this is just me talking, seems like they may be kind of clicking a little bit better right now as a team than LSU. Doesn't mean that they're better.
Yeah.
It just means right now that they are playing better as a team. What challenges do they bring to LSU, to y'all, and what can y'all do to combat those challenges?
Well, I think the first thing you have to look at is they're number 1 in the country right now. So by rule, they're the best team in the country. We're number 9 in the country. So by rule, I guess we're the 9th best team in the country. So we are the underdog. I think you have to take that into account going into it.
What's the line?
It doesn't come out until tomorrow.
Okay.
When you're motivating a team, first off, hey guys, we're playing on our home court, and we're the underdog.
Come here.
Like we get them on our home court, but we're the underdog. How's that work? So I think that's number 1. 2, you have to dive into their roster. They've got depth, but
different makeup this year, right?
Yeah, completely different makeup. So they've got a big 6'7" girl, Cardosa, down low.
She was there last year, right?
She was there last year, came off the bench last year for them. But she had Aaliyah Boston with her last year. And a lot of the focus was on Boston last year, who I think was the best player in the country last year. Caitlin did her thing. Maybe not best player in the country, but player that was valued the most by her team,
Right.
if that makes sense.
Outside Caitlin Clark.
No, because
Really?
I think Caitlin takes away from all her teammates. Shooting 40 shots a game, I mean, you can't tell me if you're playing with someone that shoots 30 to 40 shots a game, you're that interested. Aaliyah Boston was able to set screens. She was able to pass. She was able to rebound. She was able to score. So she could hit you from all aspects of the game. But they had some lockdown defenders last year. One thing that South Carolina is doing better this year, they shoot the 3-ball well. Now, they only make 7 a game. But they shoot a very high percentage from 3.
They don't shoot a ton of 3.
They don't shoot a ton, but the ones they shoot, they make. We're number 1 and number 2 in the nation in scoring. I think we're number 1, they're number 2. I think rebounding, we're both at the top of the list. We are very, very similar from a statistics standpoint. I think we're plus 16 on the boards. They're plus 15 on the boards. I think where the game's going to be won is on the perimeter. I think it's going to come down to who has the best guard play tomorrow night. I think the paint is going to be a big factor, but I think we're going to be able to score in the paint. I think they're going to be able to score in the paint. Transition-wise, they push the ball about like we do. It'd be nice if we can continue to push the ball like we did against Arkansas. I think that was kind of our first game where it really broke out and got rebounds from the guard position, which allowed us to run. And I think that's going to be very important when we're on the defensive end. Sometimes we get into that little trap, oh, well, Angel's going to get it or Anissa's going to get it, and the guards are already taken off. If we have 5 people crashing the glass, we can beat them down the floor, even though we're sending everyone to the glass. I think it is going to be tough with their big girl, but you got to bring her away from the basket because she blocks shots at a very high level.
I feel like that puts you on a good spot because everybody that is in the starting lineup that she's going to be guarding or being can extend the court, and we'll bring her off the block.
Yeah, I think one thing that's really exciting for us is as much as we want to talk about other teams and what other teams do, you've got to look at what they're talking about in their film room. When they watch us on film, okay, and I'm going to use Mike Neighbors for an example because I really like him as a coach. He's Arkansas's coach. He was in his press conference the other night. He was talking about how our defense is a Bob Starkey coach defense, which is true. Bob does a lot of our defensive schematics, and with Kim, who's a man-to-man coach, put their brain power together. It's nuts. But teams always saw his teams. He's like, all right, our goal is to take away their A and their B, and if their C beats you, then great. Well, we've got A, we've got B, we've got C, we've got D, and we've got E. So as an opposing team, what are they going to do to us? Like, we've got a great starting 5, and we've got role players that come off the bench and do their role really well. So, yeah, it's important to focus on what other teams do, but if we play our game and stick to our principles, I think we're going to look up in the fourth quarter and, hey, we're in this game. We have a chance to win. So.
What are they going to do? Because last year they had such a dominant front court, and they played half-court game really well.
Yeah.
I know now they're not as dominant physically up front. Mm-hmm. They're not going to beat you down like they would last year. Do they run more, or are they still going to get into half-court offense? And, like, what do they do this year?
They get into half-court sets. Honestly, the game last year was lost in the first 2 minutes of the game.
Yeah, literally the start of the game.
You get down 16 or 18-2
that was tough.
to start the game.
To that team, too.
To that team in their environment. Yeah. Well, what people forget, we cut the lead to 3 in the second quarter.
Yeah.
Then
3-point game.
it got to 10,
then it gets back to 10.
Yeah.
Well, with 7 minutes and 42 seconds left in the third quarter, it's back to 5.
Yeah.
So we were in a position to, hey, we're here, 5-point game.
After you spotted them.
After we spotted them a 16, 18-point lead. Now, the third quarter, we kind of ran out of gas. Fourth quarter, they ran it up, and we look up, we lose by 24, and we pack our bags and head home. But we've got to look at this game media timeout to media timeout. Let's go 5 minutes at a time and see where we are. Let's assess the damage, or, hey, let's keep doing this. Whatever's working is working. I think we as a team have realized, like, God, we are damn good when we play good basketball and when we're unselfish and we make extra passes, when we reverse the ball. for them, they're the type of team that they set a lot of on-ball screens. They like to get in the pick and roll and get into the paint and kick or throw it up to the big girl. We've got to dominate the glass, which is people are like, oh, well, they have 6'7" as their post. That's one player. We've got Angel. We've got Anissa. We've got guards that can rebound really well. So I think just sticking to what we do and worrying about South Carolina defensively trying to guard us, because we can score the ball at a high clip. South Carolina can score the ball at a high clip, but we can't let this thing get into a track meet where it's trading baskets. We both have to execute. I think the team that executes the best is going to win, and that's not just running plays in the half court. That's inbounds plays underneath. That's trying to get to the foul line a little bit more. Late clock situations.
Well, in games like this, too, it's loose ball, right? It's the 50-50
balls, which we've done better the past 3 or 4 games. We have put an emphasis on kills, our 3 stops in a row. I now have a bright yellow sign, that when we get 2 stops in a row, I hold it up. And the student section is catching along with it. We started at Arkansas, and when we get 2 stops, I hold it up. They start chanting, kill, kill, kill. Our girls start to hear it, and they're yelling it. So we had 13 kills against Arkansas, which is insane. That's 39 empty possessions.
Well, that's how you get.
I'm say that gets points. A little loud.
So you won by 30 points.
But it's true. I mean, you look at the Auburn game. We had 2 or I think we only had 2 kills against Arkansas, which not good. I mean, that means we had a combined 6 total stops in a row. Like, we're not looking for that. Our goal is 8 a game, and up until Bama, we hadn't gotten that. So Bama and Arkansas were great on the defensive end. We just have to carry that momentum over and not be scared by the name on the front of the opposing team's jersey. Because at the end of the day, I've said it since the start of the show, we're LSU. It's time for LSU to beat South Carolina again. We haven't beaten them. I think it's been 8 or 14. I saw it somewhere today. It's either been 8 times or 14 times in a row where South Carolina's beaten us.
Coach.
Yeah,
well, I don't know. 8 might have been at the PMAC. I can't remember for sure.
6 extra games.
I got a lot of numbers. I got a lot of numbers going through my head right now.
You got a lot of things happening right now.
A lot of stuff going on.
8,
so
14.
It's been a long time since LSU's beaten South Carolina. But like I said, we're the defending national champions. We were preseason picked to win the conference. Preseason number 1. We get them on our home court. No baby powder tomorrow. No powder, no problem. Party in the PMAC. What better opportunity? And if we lose, on to the next. If we win, on to the next. We got Mississippi State on Monday. So
a lot of season left.
Yeah, and you mentioned a little bit about just last thing on the game real quick, because I know, like you said, the promo's great. I think that it's going to be – you have College Game Day there for the first time. That's going to be an electric atmosphere. You saw the bus pull in already. They pulled in this afternoon. When you talk about the actual basketball of it, you mentioned the free throw line. I think just because of the depth for LSU versus the depth of South Carolina, that's something that you have to hope you can kind of stay out of foul trouble, especially early on when you talk about rebounding with Angel Reese.
Yeah.
All of those things, has that been an emphasis throughout the week?
It has. And not only with Angel. It's been with the younger kids as well.
You got 2 freshman stars.
You've got 2 freshmen who have – and a couple transfers who, since we don't play a ton of players, sometimes get in the habit of, they're in transition. I don't want to get back. Let me pick up a reach and foul, ball stop, stoppage and play. We can't have stuff like that
That's easy to do when you're up 30.
Yeah, it's easy to do. Or against
Lloyd would do that down by 20. He don't care.
Probably.
Oh, yeah.
When you've got an inferior opponent, you're undisciplined and you look up and you might be up double figures. That's foul. Regardless of time and score tomorrow, we can't afford to make stupid decisions. We get 5 timeouts a game, and I'm stealing this from Coach because I was listening to her press conference on the way over here today. Just like fouls. You get 5 fouls, might as well get your money's worth. We get 5 timeouts or 4, however many timeouts it is. So tomorrow might be one of those games where we may have to call a timeout, not because we're down or up by much, but to make sure our players aren't too tired. It's also going to be a game where our role players are going to have to step up. Everyone knows what Angel brings to the table. Everyone knows what Anissa brings to the table. Everyone knows what Raven Johnson and Pow Pow for them bring to the table, and Cardosa. But it's going to be role players. How good can Flagey guard tomorrow? Because last year against South Carolina, she didn't guard at all.
She's so much more improved.
Yeah, exactly. So Michaela Williams, when it seems like when she's on, the whole team's on. And that's not necessarily hitting shots. Yeah, it looks good to hit shots, but when Michaela's locked in on the defensive end and getting deflections, that leads to really, really good things on the offensive end. So it's going to come down to little things, just like every big game.
And then in every big game, you have your biggest players step up at the biggest moments, right? So that's I think that's what I'm excited to see is, obviously Angel Reese, and those stuff, but I think some of the ones that are supposed to be the future of LSU women's basketball, right? Like, let's see what they can do in these big moments. And you said once, when she's playing well, the whole team's playing well. Like, can she raise her game up at the level that needs to be, at the time that needs to be?
Yeah,
to make a difference.
Well,
I think that's gonna be interesting.
You look at South Carolina's team; they have a freshman in Full Wiley who is very good, but her minutes have gone way down once they started conference play. So people can look at South Carolina's depth, but in reality, they play about 7 players. We play about 7. So they've got a little bit more depth from a non-injury standpoint. It'd be nice to have Samaya for a game like this because she played so well against them last year. But we're going to war with what we've got. They're going to war with what they've got. We're going to play a 40-minute game, and we're going to look up at the end. And maybe it's more than 40 minutes. It could be an overtime game.
I know we're excited to watch it. Yeah. I'm excited to watch it. Before I let you go, give them the recap on the PSAs, give the recap on the hypes, give a recap on your promo about what you can and cannot do going into this
permitted
game.
and not permitted.
Kill.
Right.
So
kill.
So tomorrow
can't kill people.
No,
but you can kill.
Can't kill
stops
softly.
So
Brad Pitt.
Tomorrow, January 25th, Thursday, January 25th. College game day is coming to Baton Rouge. We've got a big day planned. Party at the PMAC Plaza tomorrow, starting at 3:30. There will be food trucks, drinks, concessions. A DJ brought to us by one of our local favorites, Fred's. They're providing the DJ, and it's going to be rocking outside, rain or shine. I've been told there will be music. I think for the young kids, they're going to have some inflatables. ESPN Game Day is going to be giving prizes away. There's going to be all types of stuff.
There's going to be a half-court shot now, right? Doesn't college
has not been confirmed, but I'll find out.
Don't they normally do a half-court shot?
They normally do. So I'll find that out.
I heard the Superstars was coming.
So, Party on the Plaza starts at 3:30 tomorrow. That's going to go until tip-off, but we are encouraging all fans to start lining up to get inside about 5:15 because doors will open 30 minutes early tomorrow at 5:30 because College Game Day, the pregame show will start at 6 o'clock inside the PMAC. Wow. And we're encouraging all of our fans to be inside the PMAC as close to 6 o'clock as possible. Obviously, that's going to be very tough to get everyone in. We're expecting a big crowd. Everyone in the arena will get a white T-shirt. It's going to be a whiteout. Going to be iced out in the PMAC. Note to student section. I'm going to repeat it one more time. PSA. Last year, baby powder was a huge thing. ESPN has promoted it. SEC Network has promoted it. It's all over the TVs, but no baby powder tomorrow. No baby powder whatsoever. We cannot afford to receive a technical foul to start the game. Facilities, people have already warned me. Game production crew has informed me that we will receive a technical foul if there is baby powder thrown before the game. So that will not happen. There will be plenty of other
Can we get some signs
apparatus.
up on the arena?
I don't trust them at all.
Can we get some signs up on the arena tomorrow or something?
No baby powder. But if you want to bring your own signs, if you want to bring costumes, you want to dress up, whatever.
Dress up as baby powder. That's
Ooh. You can be as loud as possible.
Tyrone Biggums.
But basically, we just need y'all, every student at LSU. I know there's a lot of y'all. If you are free tomorrow night,
get there.
If you free during the day.
Or during the day, come out tomorrow before the game. If you want to just stop by, there's going to be music. It's going to be a good time. Come in, do your job. No powder, no problem. Let's pack the PMAC. Let's get it rocking. It's the best atmosphere in college basketball. I can't wait to see it.
I can't wait either.
I mean,
you got me fired up. I wish I could be able to go.
The outfits too.
I don't have a ticket anymore.
Oh.
We got that.
Already got it.
We got to take him back.
Sensitive subject.
Sensitive subject. Can't talk about that. Man, we are excited. Obviously, I'm going to be watching it. Lloyd, you're going to be there, hopefully.
Yes.
You'll sneak in there somehow.
Oh,
Lloyd's getting,
you
Lloyd's getting there by
already
PJ.
got
I
it.
thought you said you didn't. Why you asking for my ticket?
I figured it might be closer.
We might be
Lloyd,
able
you're going to be there. No baby powder for you. Can't do that. I know you're very.
No, but,
you're a rebel.
Yes.
Can't do it. You can't hurt
Won't
the
be
team.
that powder.
We're excited. Thank you for coming on our show as always, and hopefully we'll
tomorrow.
have you on next week.
Yeah.
Talking about a victory.
Yeah. We'll
think
recap,
so.
we'll recap the win next week.
Recap the win.
We go to Starkville, play them on Monday. So, yeah, I should be
Oh,
here.
you got a long
Or after
weekend, too.
Starkville. After Starkville.
There you go. South
There you
Carolina,
go.
Stark Vegas.
And then we get Florida in town next
There
week.
you go.
There it
We,
is.
we love some Florida Gators.
That's it.
Yeah,
Appreciate you,
chomp out
dude.
the stadium.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank
Go
you all.
Tigers. Good luck.
Go Tigers, good luck. That would be
Good to see you, bro. Good luck.
Good luck, dog.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you.
It's gonna be a fun game. You're gonna have a good time.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna have a great time. The PMAC is gonna be bumping. I'm excited.
baby
I'm
powder
excited for everybody that's
officer.
gonna be in there. I haven't been at PMAC one time this year. I'm very bummed about that. I'm gonna be. No,
You got things to do.
it's not how you start the season. It's how you finish it. Right.
That's right.
I'm about to finish this strong as a fan. But it should be a good time. Should be a very, very,
We've been busy.
very good time. We have been busy. We got a lot going on. Baseball's right around the corner.
Right
Baseball's
around the
here.
corner.
Feels like it's here. Rounding third.
24
Coming
days
on.
left.
Undelay.
It is here. It is Ask Mikey and Mitch, so continue. If you haven't put questions in there, put questions in the chat. We'll get to as many as we can get to. Before we get to that segment, though, let's talk a little bit about the other sports that are going on right now. LSU basketball, what a step back three. They're down. Now it's a 43-41 game. Joe Sloan and Cortez Hankton officially are announced as co-OCs. When they
Attached at the hip, baby.
And when they announced it before the bowl game, we talked about that being an audition for them to get that job. We talked about maybe other options, and then as it kind of unfolded, and we saw the recruiting, and we saw the recruits that stayed there, and the recruits that they continue to get, it felt like keeping those guys in position was probably the best move for one that. Because one, they had they called it a really good game in the bowl game. It feels like Nussmeier is very comfortable with the offense that they have. And all of the receivers, the continuity's there, right? And then you have Joe Sloan who goes up there and gets the number one player in the country and the quarterback in the country, and you bring him. So there's a bunch of reasons why you felt like they needed to do it, and they made the decision official. They're both go-OCs. Joe Sloan calls the plays. Hankton is the passing game coordinator and the co-OC title. It's going to be a collaborative effort, but
Here's
Joe
my
Sloan will
question
be
to
the
y'all.
in-game caller.
Here's my question to y'all. Pre-bowl game, how serious do you think the opportunity or the possibility of having co-OCs being named was before that bowl game performance? Like, do you think it was kind of juggled around? Do you think it was actually in favor? Like, where do you think that was?
I think it was 50-50, to be honest with you. I think it was
That's such an easy answer. That's bullshit.
Well, let me get there. I think that they announced it as co-OCs because they felt like it could work.
Yeah.
But they also wanted to see what the preparation was going to be like with both of them as co-OCs, what it was going to be like with one calling the plays and one being on the field, right? All of that kind of stuff. So I don't know if they made the decision and say, okay, hey, this is definitely what we want to do. But I think they made the decision saying, okay, this is something that we would be comfortable doing if it works out. And there's continuity. That's kind of why I said.
What you got, Lloyd? What do you think?
This might not be the hottest take in the world, but I think a lot of it has to do with maintaining both for as long as you can. I think you wanted to keep a Joe Sloan and a Cortez Hankton on your coaching staff, and we talked about this before. The hirings we had, half of it, right, I believe, where we thought it was just going to be him, Joe Sloan as the primary OC, and then that's where I brought up the idea of, well, is that kind of cutting your nose off to spite your face with Cortez Hankton, whatever you could do the co-OC thing and not really ruffle any feathers in the building because of how well they recruit it, and it gives Cortez Hankton an opportunity to go somewhere else to be an offensive coordinator. Now, that situation still exists as you could be a lone OC, right? But I feel like this is the best way to keep both of your probably best position coaches on the staff for as long as possible.
Well, and you've had so much turnover, right, with coaching with the coaches over the last 4 years.
I didn't think they were going to go out the building.
I
What did you think?
I I'll get to that point, but to the point that Lloyd just made, I am about as far from believing that was the reason as possible, simply because, like, I mean, look at the landscape of football these days, especially in this conference, especially at the next level. If you're young and your offense balls, you don't keep coaches. I don't care where they are, right? Like, I don't think that's the thing at all. So I really don't think that it's let's see how long we can keep them here, because let's be honest. If they go out and play well,
right,
you're crazy if you think other schools in the conference ain't going to come after one or both of them, right? Like, that's the thing. So I don't think we're going to sit here and say, like, hey, we can keep them both happy, we can keep them both here. It ain't going to happen. Like,
the reason I brought it up is because it's tied into the recruiting class that they have coming in. I feel like if they can keep them for 1 to 2 more years as co-OCs or offensive coordinators, they're trying to get Underwood into the building.
I think they're 100%. I think they're trying to get Underwood into the building. But, like, if you what happens if Hankton doesn't get the co this year? Does he take another receiver's job? So, like, there isn't much. I don't think that there was probably much of a market for him to take a OC job somewhere. So keeping him here, keeping him happy, yeah, I can see. But you also still know, like, if they do well, there's probably a stronger chance that he leaves next year.
That's
right. And if we're talking about getting Underwood into the building, well, he still ain't here if Hankton leaves, right? So I'm like, I don't know how much I really believe it's let's keep them in there as long as or keep them here as long as possible. I think it really came down to, like, we got the continuity rolling and we saw it in action finally one time. So I don't know how real I thought it was probably before it, but I think it became really real after, and they just kind of kicked the tires and tried to figure out whatever they need to figure out to make sure this was the right move for them. But I think it really kind of caught some steam after the –
And that's what we talked about, right? We talked about, would you be okay with them hiring these guys, and after they had the best offense in the country, instead of going out there and saying, do you think they're the best guys for the job, instead of going out there and just seeing who else is out there and who would want to come, because there's other guys that are more experienced and do all these types of things. And we said, I believe that if Brian Kelly and the staff thinks that these guys are the best guys for the job, they don't care how much experience they have, they're going to hire them as the OCs, right? Like, they think that, okay, these guys are right. They've done a really good job. They've earned it. If I feel like they're the best ones, I'm going to hire them. Not because of all the other reasons, but because I think they're the best.
Like, if Nuss goes 26 of 42 with 2 touchdowns and 2 picks, I think there was a less likely chance that this happens.
And that's what I was going to ask you all also, is, like,
even in a win.
Right. Well, and that was my next point of the whole thing, right, is I think in the preparation, like we talked about the audition, right? The on-field stuff was definitely a part of the audition. But I think the preparation leading up to the bowl game planning, understanding how you're going to attack the defense, understanding what you're going to do with the guys you have on your offense with the new quarterback, and not having your number one receiver going to be out there all game, knowing that, how are you going to prepare and how are you going to execute it when the game comes, right? So I think the lead up was a big part of the audition, and then the audition itself, the actual on-field play, was kind of like the icing on the cake. All right, look, I liked what you did leading up to the game with the preparation, the game planning, and getting these guys ready to play. How are you going to be when the lights are on and you have to call the play in the heat of the battle and shit happens quick and you may have some things go wrong and the game started off and you're down 14-0, what are you going to do? Well, we were down 14-0, we came back, and it was the offense I think played better than anybody could have anticipated playing. And they said, okay, check, boom.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I think those boxes, the preparation boxes, were checked before.
Me
already.
too.
Meaning like
before the
meaning
bowl.
like I think they got the opportunity because they saw how they worked already.
Yeah.
Right. And I think it was really about what do you do when it is 4th and 2, 3rd and 2, and you only got 45 seconds to call this play. Like you've never been in that situation at this level yet. I need to see that here before I make a move forward. Yeah. I think that was kind of what was needed to see and went way better than I think a lot of us pretty much expected it to go.
Yeah, there's a minute 50 left, and you got 98 yards to go. What's your best play here? Like they answered that bell. Like you couldn't put a new offensive coordinator and probably a
new quarterback.
Quarterback. Like all of that they were served was such a tough situation to be able to succeed in, which is why you almost have to put a lot of stock into it because I don't think this is breaking news, but Garrett Nussmeier and Jane Daniels do not play the same brand of football.
Right.
And so you had to prepare differently. You had to try to figure out some semblance of a normal run game that you haven't had to really.
Well, offensive
rely on.
line had to block differently
All of
because
that
they
came
understood
into
that
play.
your guy wasn't going to run around.
And so it becomes, I don't want to say easy to make that call, but with the transitions on the defensive side, it's almost like we have to have some sort of continuity on one end. But I'm wondering how this is going to play out because it feels like for all intents and purposes, you won the press conference. Like nobody's upset about the hire.
Right.
Like everybody's more, I would say more than happy to keep Sloan and Hankton. But we'll see how that goes next year. I'm just talking about the ridicule that could come when you have Garrett Nussbauer in his first year. You go up against USC, and it's like, okay, we have a totally new offense after you're the number one offense in the country. That's a big target to wear on your back after everything that was put out last year. With that said, you still have a little bit of deflection to do with everybody's going to be focused on the defense.
Well, and here's the deal. No matter who you bring in.
LSU has a lot of question marks going into 2024.
But no matter who you bring in to be the offensive coordinator, those questions were going to be like that same pressure was going to be on whoever.
Yeah, that's why
was in that
Denbrock
position.
probably skedaddled. Like, I don't want to have to do
No,
this
but I
again.
mean,
I just got a major pay bump.
I mean, maybe, but like you bring a new guy in, it doesn't matter how much experience they have or not. They're the first game of the season is with a new quarterback coming out after you had the number one offense in the country on the road against USC. Like, what are you going to show me? What are you going to do?
This is LSU football. You get
So
used to it.
yeah, so you're gonna like that. No matter who is the offensive coordinator, you're gonna have that pressure, right? So,
Well, I mean, there's some teams that start off with a
I know,
cupcake,
I know,
which
I
would
get
be
that.
easier. LSU
Of course,
is
it'd be easier.
continue to step into that puddle every time
Well, I mean,
because you booked your schedule until
yeah.
2040.
Schedule's booked
Yeah,
for
a long
while,
time
so.
ago. But yeah, all
Pac-12
the
versus SEC challenge. Well, not the Pac-12.
Pac-2.
Yeah, now it's the Big Ten. Big
Oh,
12?
I guess it would be the Big Ten.
Big
yeah.
Ten challenge now.
Yep.
Let's rebrand it. Make a new graphic.
You know, it's just you're gonna have the opportunity early on to see what they're made of. Now, the defense is gonna be the biggest question mark, right? You did everything you could possibly do to make the defense better, right? Brought in a defensive coordinator that everybody's happy about. You brought in 2 defensive line coaches that couldn't have picked 2 better guys, right? You bring in the cornerback coach who most people are very excited about to bring him back because of the recruiting, because of the development he's done and the history that he has at LSU. You bring in a tight ends coach who has I know it's not on defense,
yeah.
but you bring in all these coaching staff, you bring in a safeties guy who's comfortable with your defensive coordinator. The defensive coordinator understands how his coaching tactics. He did enough at Missouri to say, okay, you're now the safeties coach. So you bring in all these guys who have the continuity, plus all these guys that are either from Louisiana, have coached in Louisiana, so they understand the landscape here. So they understand how to get these guys to play the way that they need to play here at LSU. So you've done everything you can do to make the defense better. Now it's a matter of getting those guys. And look, Blake Baker has come out and said, maybe not publicly, but he has come out and said it that, man, when I was looking at the roster and I'm going over with the guys on the team, like as far as talent goes,
I'm sure you recruited a lot.
we're not as far off. They're not the talent-wise is not as far away from where they need to be as people think, right? It's about, okay, let's get these guys in the right spots. Let's get them playing the brand of football that they need to play and put them in a position to succeed. And the fact that he knows that, I think is very encouraging.
Well, and he went to war to recruit some of the same cats because he had it's Debo Atkins, the linebacker that's from Louisiana, played in Texas, and it was between Missouri and LSU. And he wanted to go to Missouri because of Blake Baker. He was the one that put the final charge on, and he ultimately signs with LSU. He was the first one to tweet about it. Whatever Baker was signed to LSU, like, oh, I get both things that I wanted.
Yep.
And so he knows, like, he's familiar with the talent on LSU's roster because he's been going to recruiting battles, whether it be the freshman coming in or the freshman coming in last year. He's been doing the same battles, been in the same living rooms. He's like, I scouted these guys too. I think they're good. And a lot of that last year was a lot of spray and pray from the fan base of who am I mad at? Like, it can't be that. Are they not talented? Or are they not playing the right people? Is it schematics? And then I think you'll look back at the 2023 season defensively and go, hold on. I mean, you didn't have a defensive line coach for 4 weeks. Much
You had
less
4 guys in the secondary out.
You brought in people from the portal that you swung and missed on, then you get people that get injured, and it just became such this like calamity of errors where it was like, oh, that's why they were bad.
Yeah, and look, they're going to have a lot of those guys they brought in that are no longer, like, not obviously Denver Harris and Deuce Chestnut, but some of the other guys they were counting on that
JK,
weren't bad
Guy.
apples. that just got hurt. Those guys are going to be healthy. So now you're going to have a little bit more depth. You're going to bring in some younger guys. You're going to have more depth in the safety position. You have more depth in the linebacker position. Now, the one position I think you're going to be real light at is the defensive line position. Now, I think that could get a little bit better, right? You can maybe go get a couple guys in the portal or a couple guys out of the Alabama recruiting class or whatever to come and fill in some of those needs. But you're going to have a better defensive line coaches to develop that group. So I'm pretty confident on
And not exactly breaking news, but sub news. 26 minutes ago, Michigan OC Sharon Moore is expected to be named the Wolverines' next head coach. So, what are we going to talk about for the next 2 weeks?
Baseball. Fake news? You're going to talk about fake news?
Yeah.
Here's the deal. They knew, I guarantee you, they knew that Jim Harbaugh was gone.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? And we talked about our OCs having a dress rehearsal and a audition. Sharon Moore had that exact same thing.
They had a little bit of the secession plan kind of going.
No doubt. And not only did he succeed, and not only did he pass, he beat Ohio State and he beat Penn State.
What else do you want him to do?
What else do you want him to do?
He got his first one on short notice.
Right.
And I think that was a shutout win, I want to say. And then he beat Ohio State. He beat Penn State. He cried. He praised Jim.
Yep.
What else does he need to win over there?
Yeah. No.
The crying is still a bizarre scenario.
He's the guy.
I guess that was him.
Emotional, dude.
That's him knowing he got the job. If he beat Penn State running it 35 times in the second half. So I guess that means also that Michigan.
And it was a blowout.
I think they won by 10.
Was it?
Yeah. They salted the game away with the run game coach.
I thought they beat them by Penn State. Did they not score a touchdown?
No, I think it was.
No, Ohio State didn't score a touchdown, huh?
No, Ohio State scored.
I thought they blew one of them out.
It was. You're talking about the Maryland game. That was a shutout.
Oh.
That was his first game on short notice.
Okay,
it was
that's what it was.
24-15 against Penn State.
That's what. Okay. My bad.
But this also probably, looking at the Michigan coaching staff, probably means that wherever Harbaugh ends up, which it is now the Chargers, he's probably going to take their defensive coordinator with him, because if you're only giving up 15 points to Penn
unless
State,
he gets a head coaching job
I thought
somewhere.
you was going to say he was taking Stallions with him. I didn't know what you were.
Oh, Stallions will be out there, don't you? No, he's a Michigan man. What are you talking about? He's got to update the manifesto. He doesn't care about Harbaugh. He cares about the M.
And that's going to be interesting to see what happens at Michigan whenever he's gone, the defensive coordinator.
Right, because I think that if they could have hired him, I'd imagine that would have been their first pick. But he didn't make him the interim because he knew that
he wanted him with him.
Yeah, we're not going to let Michigan get foaming at the mouth for this guy.
Yeah.
If he comes in and does exactly what just happened with the offensive coordinator, like it feels like a open and shut case because he won 3 games against Maryland, Ohio State, and Penn State. It's like, why wouldn't you hire him? It's like, well, defense played pretty well in all of those games, and was your calling card all year. So you should probably look at that. But
I think Harbaugh he's in a good situation.
Would you be upset if you're Michigan with Harbaugh if he comes in, wins you a national championship, turns your program around?
Why would you be? We don't realize that he's been there for like 8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
after being very successful in the NFL, you had to know there's no way he's just staying here forever.
Right.
Especially when they keep coming to his door and calling and basically hitting on him.
So
you had to know it was coming.
So you talk about that, right? And it's not the same situation because he was there for 8 years, right?
A little Saban-esque.
Yeah, right. So Saban, are you mad? If you're an LSU fan, are you mad at Saban for leaving? Yes. You appreciate the fact that he got there and he created a program and he built this program to where it was when he left. So you're happy about that. You're mad that you left because you know that there's probably a little bit more that you could have gotten out of it, right?
Well, and he took your best coordinator. Assumingly with him.
But you also got to think of how he came in when your situation was what it was, and all of a sudden you're getting a Super Bowl attending or participating coach.
No doubt.
You're like, I wasn't expecting to get that.
Yeah.
So when he upgraded it, you can't be that mad on the way out.
No.
So I think they're happy because they won national championship.
Cool.
You know what's crazy is the first time that they had 2 teams not in the SEC in the national championship game. Both teams don't have their coach anymore.
Wow, yeah, DeBoer and Harbaugh.
Mm-hmm. Crazy.
Do you think DeBoer would have gone to Michigan from Washington if the Alabama thing had never happened?
I don't know if Michigan would. I think Michigan was getting Sharon Moore no matter what. You know what I mean? I don't think they were going to offer him that job.
Michigan man.
Yeah.
It's a crazy culture. So not Brian Kelly, eh?
No, not Brian Kelly. Were you from Canada now, eh?
Okay then.
But I think Harbaugh is going into an unbelievable situation in LA. He gets his quarterback.
They can figure out some of the cap issues they got going on there and kind of insert some culture back in there.
It's always like that, Coach.
Crazy.
It's always like that. The Saints cap.
Oh yeah, that's nothing.
Fake.
It's like $40 billion.
They're gonna bring the
above everybody
DC,
else.
bring the DC in because they have talent. They have like that's been the big thing, right? How are the Chargers? How's the Chargers defense?
How are the Chargers
not
bad?
Yes. How are they not good? Now I know at the end of the year, Herbert got hurt, but still, like.
Well, they were bad all year. Though.
Yeah,
they were one of the worst defenses early on.
Right, and that was a big question. Like, why?
They had nothing but talent over there.
Exactly. Right, and so, Harbaugh's going to go in, does what he's done everywhere: win, change the culture, make them the team that they want them to be, and
Who's got it better than us?
He's done everywhere he's gone, so I'm no doubt. So congratulations to him.
Did you see DeBoer on McAfee today?
Yeah.
From the car.
He's got to do it. He's got to do it. He's got to.
Was Saban Cruton in the car, or was he Cruton on the PJ?
That's a good question.
Definitely the PJ.
Yeah, I didn't think
they
about
say,
that.
"Hey, DeBoer, you got to earn this PJ over here."
Definitely.
The state of
definitely the PJ.
They'd send him in that old ass Yukon everybody gets.
You got a nice one, but you can get in that back seat first before you.
Your boy Matt House is now the linebackers coach for the Jaguars.
Is he really?
Yeah, wow. NFL. Back to where he's comfortable. Right? Back to the linebackers coach.
Did you see the tweets underneath that report?
That announcement of
He's
Matt House?
Matt House's integral part on LSU's back-to-back 10-win seasons. Everybody's like, well, maybe the worst defense of all time.
Integral maybe in the 10 wins because LSU could have had probably 12 or 13 this year.
Actually held them back.
Yeah.
Integral to the 10 wins.
Integral to the 10 wins, but just in a different way that you think. You're not
totally opposite ways in 2 years.
Integral that they got to 10, but only because they should have probably had 12.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Mm-hmm.
Big reason you got to 10 1 year. Big reason you only stayed at 10.
No doubt. Best of luck to him. You never want anybody to fail. And I hope he's a great career as a linebackers coach, and maybe he gets another chance as a defense coordinator. It just didn't work out. It happens. It's part of it.
I think he's found his calling.
It's all part of it.
Do you want some of these Ask Mikey and Mitch?
I was about to say, let's get to the Ask Mikey and Mitch.
Because
LSU basketball. Oh, I thought they just scored. That didn't count?
50-54.
Boy, they cannot score. Okay.
No, I mean, it's been fun.
Oh, you got plenty of time.
It's an up and down.
You got plenty of time.
You're on a roller coaster ride every time you're watching LSU. I don't think
plenty of time. What did I say? 500 in conference play.
This one, it feels like you should win.
You got to win this one. 500 in conference play.
Foul. Good. Okay. I'm going to skip the first one because I've told you what it was.
We don't know the lineup.
Thank you.
So,
quit asking.
Yeah, it's just not something that you can ask it a million times. It'll give you the same answer every time.
And we talked about this too. That lineup that is going to be Friday night.
You may get 3 different lineups.
It's going to be different on Saturday. Good chance it might be different on Sunday too.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll move to the next one from Christian Focham. We talked a little college basketball, especially the women's side. Score predictions for tomorrow night's matchup against SC.
Ooh.
Quick.
Ooh.
And I believe. Hold on. And I have the spread.
I thought they didn't have it out.
It just dropped. It was SC minus 7.5.
Whoa.
7.5.
I'm gonna go
75-69 SC.
I was gonna say 75. I'm gonna go opposite. I'm gonna go the only way LSU is going to be able to win is to outscore them, I think. If LSU's not under 70 points, I think they lose. So I'm gonna go LSU 78, South Carolina 77. It's going to come down to the end of the game.
I was going to say it's going to be something like that too. It's going to be, for as much as this game or like games like this get hyped up, very rarely do you get a dud where it's like, oh, blew them out the gym. Like South Carolina last year, even when they got up to like, what is it, 20-2 run, like Kim Mulkey didn't call a timeout for a reason. She's like, bathe in this. Like, you earned this is what you get. I'm not bailing you out.
Right.
And South Carolina learned from it. And this is going to be coached completely differently because of the emphasis. The team's better. They're expected to compete. I do see it coming down to like 75-73. Hopefully it's on the LSU way, but I would not be surprised to see overtime and none of that. But I agree with you also. You need to see Van Lith just put up her first like legitimate I'm here game, like 25 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Like did Haley Van Lith. So she's starting to feel comfortable. You're going to need a big performance from Michaela Williams, who is a freshman. It's a lot to ask. She bounced back after only scoring 12
Yeah,
in a
and I have
loss.
a gut feeling she's gonna have a monster game.
So who do you have as winning this game?
LSU.
Okay.
I'll hop on the optimism train.
Okay. So here's the thing.
I'm a teaser.
If LSU was going into this game undefeated like they were last year,
It'd be 3.
no, I'd be like, they got to win this because now you got the big bad wolf that's beating you twice and it's in the back of your head. They've had a couple losses. I still do think a team like this, and South Carolina's still undefeated right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I still do think a team like this will kind of it's a measuring stick game for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got some young people. They got some people that are meshing in. They're trying to get to their basketball. I mean, to playing their best basketball. Yeah, it'd be great to see them win. If they don't win, I kind of see it working the same way it worked for them last year, where they were able to take that information and kind of elevate themselves, elevate their game, and kind of graduate a little bit.
So
As big as the game is, sorry.
Yeah,
it's
go
not a must-
finish.
It's
not a must win.
It's not a must
No,
win.
right.
not.
And I think what I'm interested to see, and I talked about it, like, Michaela Williams, all these, like, you have a lot of stars. In a game like this, the stars want to be stars, but you only got one basketball. So is it going to be, hey, we're going to do this thing together, and we're going to figure out and just let the game come to you, and however the game dictates the star to become the star of that game, that's how it should be, right? Now, if you're trying to force the issue and everybody wants to be the star and be that one to score the points, that could get in the way of doing the things that you need to do. So I'm interested to see how it plays out, but I think you're going to see some of those girls step up.
Okay, next one up. From Jesse Romero. Y'all have talked a lot with Coach Jay about the stable of talented catchers on this roster. Would you describe Micah Gibbs as a combination of the 4? Follow-up, would you rather 4 really good catchers or 1 great catcher?
A combination of the 4 catchers that they have?
I guess. I think they have.
So I will say this. Micah was really good defensively.
Right.
He was very good at managing the staff. And when he was at LSU, he smashed. So, yeah, an switch-hitting offensive catcher who managed the game and understood it. So, yeah. So, do I think he's a combination of them all? I do.
Yeah.
He was a second rounder, third rounder?
Third rounder.
I think.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
So, I mean, he was, he's very highly touted coming
He
out.
hit over 400 here?
I'll say this.
No, almost.
I'll say
1
this.
year.
Micah was a complete catcher back there. I won't say he was a combination of the 4, only because the power that Hayden Travinsky
Well, he
has
didn't have that.
it's on another level, and I don't think people really understand it.
Yeah.
People. I think people saw what he did last year as he was just hot and kind of got going. The kid really has
Extra
goofy
juice.
light tower power, right? And Gibbs didn't have that. No shot to Gibbs. Gibbs could hit the ball. He could drive the ball in the gaps and could do some special things from both sides of the plate. But Travinsky's power is real power, legit power, and that's where I won't say he's a combination of all of them, because I do think that tool that Travinsky has kind of sticks out.
I don't think a lot of people got that either.
No.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next one up. Justin LeBlanc. Biggest difference you see in how Yeski operates and handles his staff compared to Wes Johnson, which I don't know if you could really answer.
Yeah, I was gonna say we don't know yet.
I know. It's early.
Yeah, we haven't seen it in game. I will say
that's a great question, but give it like a month into the season. So, and I only say that just because I want to see where these guys who were really young on the team and that threw last year, or the guys that were young and didn't get many innings last year, how did they progress? How do they work under this guy? That's what I want to see, and that'll kind of give us a good indicator of.
I think you're going to see. I think what you're going to see, and I can probably tell you this right off the bat. What you're going to see is you're going to see a lot more. You're going to see a lot more comfortability between Jay and Yeski because they've coached together before, and so you already know they're familiar with each other. Jay had never coached with Johnson. He had never done. He only knew who he was.
Plucked him late.
Right, and so and he was good and he had some success. But he just didn't know, they just, sometimes they maybe didn't vibe or they didn't know yet. They didn't have enough time to kind of get to know each other. And I think you're going to see that I know that for a fact that you're going to see that earlier.
I also do think they are implementing a system and or mindset of attacking hitters very early with power stuff in the zone. I do think that's something they're really drilling home right now. And I think they kind of got away from that through the rest of the staff last year. I think that's something that Yeski's like all over about. So.
Yep.
They tried to get a little too fine at some points.
A little too fine, a little too cute, a little too tricky, instead of just, hey, here it is, I'm coming at you. And if I get ahead, then I'll trick you. Like I think you're gonna get a lot more of that.
Yeah, that's where it'll be interesting because you won't have the offense that you had last year just because of what you lost at certainly at least at one position with Dylan Cruz who got on base literally half the time he played baseball. So I think it'll be interesting to see how they pitch it and how Yetzi kind of manages the staff where it's loaded with transfer portal guys and it's loaded with left-handers where you might see them kind of switch it up a little bit more considering who's in the batter's box versus Riley Cooper go out there and give me 3 or 4.
Well, make no mistake about it, that's going to be Jay's decision anyway.
Right.
But, yeah, I do think you're going to see him mix and match a little bit more. I do think you're going to see, even more so than probably we've ever seen in college baseball, like you're not going to really see outside of these guys like absolutely flopping. I really don't think you're going to see one long bridge guy that's always coming in the spot. I think you're literally going to see guys that are 1 innings to 2/3 of an inning, and you're going to see that a lot. Like I think you're going to see that a lot.
Agreed.
And I think it's going to be managed a little more like a professional staff would be because there's so many deep, really, really quality arms.
Next one up, another baseball question. Creek Baham. Who will be the third best consistent hitter behind Tommy and Travinsky? I think it'll be between Kling, the transfer from Arizona, and Bear. I know y'all hate these, but this is what they are.
Third best consistent.
That's a hell of a question.
A lot of caveats in there.
You know
Third best consistent hitter.
I'm gonna give a name that he didn't mention. I think Pearson's gonna be that guy.
Yes, love that call.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If he can manage his emotions, I think the Bingham kid's coming in here with a huge chip on his shoulder. Got slided in the draft. It's back for what? Is this year 4 or year 5 for him?
This will be his 5th year.
Back for year 5. He's very seasoned. He's played a ton of games in college. I think he's coming here with a huge chip on his shoulder, and I think he's going to be a huge addition to the lineup if he can manage emotions and play his game.
Agreed.
I'd love to see it be Paxton Kling because I feel like
Me too. Look, it could be.
It could be. And I don't know if it's fair to judge him off of last year because everything was thrown at him very quickly.
Paxton may very well
play bad.
He may very well go out there and be your best hitter.
Right.
That's what he has the ability to do. But he asked for third best, so that's what I thought.
Third best would be great. Okay, one more up. We got a couple more. We got a ton. Cade Ewing, what are your thoughts on the current status of LSU's bullpen and the contrast we should expect between last year's team and this year's team? LSU baseball, obviously.
Current status of LSU's bullpen is elite.
Loaded.
Yeah, loaded. And how do I think it's going to shape up? I think it's going to be way better than it was last year because of the depth, and I think you're going to have the ability to mix and match, and not just mix and match with lefty-righty, but mix and match with lefty-righty that is explosive.
Yeah.
So that's what I think.
I think they have, I think compared to last year, elite, explosive, every great superlative you could kind of put in there. They have a chance to be one of the best pitching staffs that's ever played in purple and gold here, and that's just the facts of the matter. So, lock in.
Next one up, Ask Mikey and Mitch.
LSU basketball doesn't want to score points.
No, that's what you time out. You got one left. Ask Mikey and Mitch. I'd love to see you both do a top 5 list for the players with the best superstar potential that are currently on LSU's roster. For the volleyball
Best
team.
superstar potential. Okay, we're gonna go 1.
Tommy White.
Best superstar
is it in order,
potential.
or is it just 5 guys?
You can do it. Take it however you like.
I'm gonna go top to bottom. Then I'm gonna go 1 to 5.
Oh, you're gonna name it in order.
Yeah, I'm gonna name it in order. Best superstar potential. 1 is gonna be Paxton Kling. Right, that's what I really think. If he plays his game with his physical tools, what he's able to do, not only at the plate, what he's able to do, not only on the base path, what he's able to do in the outfield, he's 1. 2 to me is Tommy because the bat is so ridiculous, and if his health is there and he's able to play third, I think you'll get very fine third base out of him this year. Number 3, I'm gonna hit you with a crazy one for 3. Jake Brown. I think he's going to come in and absolutely shock a lot of people and be a very, very nice, I won't say upgrade, but addition to what you probably didn't know you were going to get. Because coming in, everybody thought the arm was leading the bat, and I think it's kind of showed to be the bat's leading the arm. And that doesn't mean anything bad about the arm. I think the bat and his ability with that side of the ball is that good. Number 4, I'm going to go with Jared Jones. He can hone it in and do what he's capable of doing and kind of, I guess, put the noise aside and just go to the work and do the work every day and kind of put his trust and his mindset in the work and not on the results. That light tower power and that ability will be unbelievable. And 5, I'm going with Travinsky. You keep him healthy all year, he might hit 30.
Okay, so do you say just line up, or is it anyone superstar potential and anyone?
And anyone.
I went with just line up.
So that's what I was asking. So I like all those.
Those are great.
I'm gonna add. I'm not gonna go in order, but I'm just gonna give 5 names that I think has superstar potential. Right? You obviously named Paxton Kling. There's no order. This is just 5 names. Paxton Kling, I think, is one of them. I think Cam Johnson obviously has the potential to be a superstar, potential to be the number 1 overall pick in 2025 or 2026 draft. I think Thatcher Hurd, if he takes that next step, he has the 3 pitches that he can throw for strikes, or 4 pitches he can throw for strikes and be dominant. He's touching 98, they were saying. So I think he has the potential to be a superstar. I'm with you on Jake Brown. You have a freshman. You have him to be able to be there for 3 years. Being in the lineup right now as a freshman is a huge thing, especially before the season even started. And then Tommy White, obviously, right? Like, Tommy White's one of the, when it's all said and done, he may have better numbers. He's going to have better numbers than Dylan Cruz had in college, when it's all said and done from what he did at North Carolina State. And then last year. And I mean, he had arguably better numbers than Dylan Cruz had last year, right? Like, he had 20-something homers, 100 RBIs, but then Dylan had 100 runs. Like, this year you're going to go back and say, okay, Tommy White's going to hit almost 400 again. He's probably going to hit 25-plus home runs. He's probably going to have another 100 RBIs.
And he doesn't play a terrible third.
He played great third base.
I think he's above average fielder.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm going to give you my 5.
The only thing I say with Tommy, and it's not a Tommy problem, it's not a Tommy thing, but you may have to dial back the RBI numbers this year because you won't have a guy that's on at a 600 clip in front of him. Right. Probably not. Maybe we do. Right. Probably not.
It hadn't happened a lot.
So,
Okay. I was trying to digest this question because your thoughts on expecting a shortstop that couldn't play shortstop at his previous home being able to transition to shortstop on the best team in the SEC. Also, do you think a natty contender needs a pure shortstop to make a run? Obviously, he's talking about Braswell coming from.
Well, I think he's wrong about
that. Couldn't play shortstop?
I think he's wrong about the couldn't play shortstop.
Wow.
Didn't hit
That's
well.
why it took me a second to read it.
Hey, wow.
He was known for being a very good defensive shortstop.
So here's my thing. Here's the question. On a defending national championship team, you think we brought in a shortstop who couldn't cut the mustard in this league already? That's what we brought in. Basically, gave him the job. Like, gave him the inside track to get the job. That's what we brought in here. If I was you, I would actually give Jay's ability to recruit a little more respect than that.
Yeah. So
committed during Omaha.
It wasn't that he couldn't play shortstop. He just didn't hit well last year. Yeah. But he's a shortstop. He's a good defensive shortstop. Jay brought him here, thought, hey, I see something in his offensive game that I think I can fix.
Yes.
I think he's fixed it.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I expect him to play well.
I expect him to be a pleasant surprise as well.
I think he's going to be great at the bottom of the lineup. He's going to have a great year.
I think he's going to be a traveling man. Like, I can see him moving around. Yeah, a whole bunch, yeah. But I think he's going to play a great shortstop.
Do you think they run more this year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100%.
Clean.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt, they're going to run a
Pearson,
lot more this year.
Braswell, they're going to run more.
Yeah.
Brown probably can run. No, not Travinsky. Those guys, stay where you're at, bud.
Jogging.
Hit the ball with the fence and jog.
All right, that's we got a couple from the live stream. Let's see.
Unless you like to hit him a 3, it'd be nice.
Couple one from Fonz.
Take it out, dummy.
There you go.
Stupid.
There you go. We'll do that one then. Why does the men's basketball team not work the ball around the court? Why are they trying to be a one-man band? None of them are going to be able to score 50 or 60 points a game.
All right, good rebound. I don't know. Right there was a prime example. If you're watching the game right now, they had the ball moved. They got the ball inside to the big guy, and he was at the free throw line, and there was two guys around him that were wide open. He just hesitated, and then by the time he got to him, they were covered. So, boy, we got to the line, shooting 2 free throws with our guy. Jordan Wright. So, got to keep chipping away. I mean, the game's not over. It's 3 minutes, 45 seconds. They're down by 7. He makes his free throw. They're down by 6.
Yeah, and for everybody saying that this men's team is trash, it's tough to win on the road, boys.
It is. I'm not saying they're trash. They're way better than we were last year.
Yeah, it was in the chat. Like
way better than we were last year.
These
and
are
look,
the games you're going to have to play.
Yeah. Look, I said 500 in conference would be a great year. I'd like to see them win.
Next one up from the chat. How nervous were you all to be on stage during the first pitch banquet?
I wasn't nervous at all.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they asked us to do something that we're pretty comfortable doing, talking to one of our friends.
That's all.
You know what I mean? Like, interview one of our good friends. Like, we were pretty comfortable doing that.
Be long-winded in this answer, too?
Well, it wasn't like we were the keynote speaker, That's a little different.
Yeah, it wasn't like I was, hey, you need to speak for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
No, it was just, hey, talk about ball with your boy. That was easy.
I had to be a keynote speaker before, and it is a lot.
You were a keynote speaker.
Yeah, it was at an auction, so I had to read off a bunch of stuff, and I just did.
That wasn't the keynote though. You were the MC.
Yeah, I was MCing. That's even worse. I'd rather keynote.
Keynote's I was like, who wants you to give a
right? Well, I've been asked to do that before too.
A keynote speech.
Yeah, small things.
Wow.
But the MCing of it, I just turned into a party.
Yeah, of course. Well, that's how you're supposed to do it with MC.
Yeah, I don't know what they expected. I did not get asked to do it again.
Oh.
But
you did it.
I did.
I've never done it. You've done it. It's good.
It's fun. Don't remember half of it. The back half.
What else you got for us, Lloyd?
I think that's it, huh?
Oh, and also, first pitch banquet. Kudos to you. Hats off for cutting me out of everything. Like that they had to work harder to do that to put me in it. What the fuck was that about?
Lloyd was goddamn Casper the Ghost over there.
It gets right to where I was and gone. I was like, what the fuck? What did I do to them?
Oh,
I'm an ambassador for the fucking baseball team. Nobody pimps them harder than I do. You think I want to be out there on Twitter every night on a Wednesday drinking a fit?
Who had the camera? Who was videoing stuff?
I don't know, but he's fucking enemy number 1 right now.
I didn't see him, so I really don't know who it was.
It wasn't our guy that knocked over the camera and caught it, because that guy's a stud.
Yep. He's been around for a long time.
Whoever did
it's
that.
All right. Hey, you can be around. You be in the stadium a lot this year. You be able to talk it.
Yeah.
You'll be able to talk.
Oh, you'll see me.
Express your. Yeah.
I was just shocked. Jack.
Yeah, that's tough.
Sedlow said it too. He's like, I was like, actually amazing editing, to be honest, because I know I was in every single one of the back of my head, my huge forehead. I was in them.
You were there.
I was there.
You were there, but not really there.
Guess
no
I
evidence.
Played baseball for LSU.
And you were dressed nice, like the whole deal. Oh, that's a huge 3 and a 3-point play potentially. You were dressed in a nice suit. It wasn't like you were dressed bad.
I mean, the hair, I guess, and the mustache.
But you look good. You pulled it off.
Yeah.
You pulled it off.
I was like, oh, God, they kind of went out their way to make sure I
that's
wasn't
okay.
in this thing.
It's okay.
But
you were there.
All these flavors, and you want to be salty.
They know you. They know you were there.
I'm on camera plenty. Yeah, they clearly knew I was there.
Man, that's tough.
Oh, God, that's funny.
Great show today, boys.
Great show.
Great show. I appreciate everybody.
This is literally what we call battling through adversity right
No
now.
doubt.
It's a slow season here.
No doubt. Slow season. It was
We're
good.
on the
We had
horizon
a
right
nice
now.
interview. We had some news happen in football. We had some stuff we had to talk about. It was good. It was a good show.
Slade coming aboard.
Slade's coming on board. That's a big get, I think. But we'll be back.
Slade, Taser, Consigliere,
Blazer.
Michelle.
Michelle.
Friend Stanilokovic.
Yeah. She's actually very pretty in real life.
I thought she looked good in the movie.
Have you seen the picture of her in real life? Like, she actually
they dolled
doesn't
her.
look anything like
they
that.
really
obviously.
changed it
Yeah.
up.
Get on
Yeah.
the scale.
Get off the scale.
Turn the cameras
Congratulations.
off. We'll be back live in studio on Friday from 1 to 2:30 ish. We appreciate all love and support. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please keep pressing the thumbs up button. That does us a lot of good. Hey, we've had a lot of action on our YouTube channel lately. I love that.
Love that. Schwartz.
Good for the show. Good for the team. Good for everything.
Raises are coming.
Yeah, hopefully. We appreciate you. We love you. We appreciate all the support. We'll be back on Friday. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday.
We got a mistake of the day over here.
Oh, yeah, duh. Mistake of the day is brought to you by our friends at Dozy Place. What the heck am I doing?
I've prayed for times like that.
Bring it to us, Lord.
Whenever you would have forgotten it. And I was like, I don't have one. But I have one today. And it's an unfortunate day as Uga.
Yep.
Oh, saw that. Yeah, tough.
Bit the dust. But the real mistake of the day is this is from PETA, who says, R.I.P. Uga, he struggled to breathe every day of his entire life. Uga, University of Georgia's retired mascot, died this morning. The University of Georgia promotes chronically suffering, breathing-impaired breeds and the cruel dog breeding industry by using an English bulldog as its symbol. The school has subjected 11 dogs to the stress and danger of being used as its mascot and must stop dooming dogs to live like this.
So are they mad at people for getting English bulldogs as their pets? Because I'm sure Uga probably is treated a lot better than most people's pets.
Like, are you kidding me?
This guy's living.
You think that dog didn't live lavishly?
I saw him sit on ice packs.
Stupid. I hate that.
And then this was their byline for the tweet. R.I.P. Uga, heartbroken. We're hoping his passing reminds, like, they roast him. University of Georgia, just how irresponsible it is for them to be promoting unhealthy, breathing-impaired, flat-faced breeds like English bulldogs. Like, that is so unnecessary.
I mean, you're insulting Uga.
I mean, respect to
Not
the
Inga,
dead.
Uga.
But they're on an impressive streak. Uga 10, which was this one, rest in peace. From 2006 to 2007, one dog. 2008 to 2009, one dog.
Oh, they had two dogs die in
back-to-back years.
Wow.
So,
but Uga was 10 years old, 11 years old.
Yeah, Uga made it, and it with a dynastic dog.
Yeah.
What a guy.
He bit somebody.
That was a long time ago.
I know.
That was Tennessee.
I know.
That's awesome. And then this is the one that escaped Bevo.
Yeah.
Quick on his feet, PETA.
Yep. Yeah, get out of here, PETA.
And Peter can pipe down.
Curtain Call is brought to you by our friends at Assured Partners.
And
me. What we got, boys?
Slow season.
He was over there cramming for
I
the
got
test.
one. I've got one.
Slow
You
set.
want to drop yours?
You can go first.
I wasn't impressed this week.
So
Nobody gets it.
my curtain call is to Coach Jim Harbaugh, not because
You stole mine. Unbelievable.
not because he got the job in the NFL. That's great for him, right? Very successful coach, not because of his record at Michigan, but because Jim Harbaugh goes to Michigan, does all this stuff, avoids scandal, gets suspended twice in 1 year, avoids
Slippery.
serious,
Algos.
yep, and comes back, wins the first national championship in Michigan in a long time, and puts Michigan back on the map, and then says, peace. But you knew the whole year he was probably going to go to the NFL. You just felt it. You knew it. He teased the NFL every year, and he goes and says, I'm going to win the national championship, and I'm going to peace out, and y'all are going to have to deal with allegations, and I'm going to go to the NFL to a team that I probably really want to be at.
Who's got it better than me?
Great for him.
Who's got it better than me?
It's a great situation.
Thank you, Michigan. I mean, I would sell my soul twice for that, for a national championship, and to get my program back on the map.
Yeah.
He has nothing to apologize for.
Right.
No.
This is mine,
He did his duty.
and this is Mikey. We have had some conversations about stacking days, stacking chips. If you're a gambling man, this guy took a chance.
Oh, yeah.
And decided that this is his best way to be able to pay rent and make money, and goes on an all-time.
Little wild.
Just the highs and lows of being a gambler and degenerate of everyday life. I've been here. Down 100. Down 95. Up 95. Dealing. Playing blackjack online. Out of deposits. Steals copper. Make another run at it. Can't even split aces.
Not enough funds. $50 left. And here we go.
19. Bang, right in there. Didn't even get to spin around the wheel.
Does it again.
Lucky number 3.
Here we go. Oh, my God.
Bangarang. Look, stacked.
And now he's ready.
That's how you stack chips.
Here's the question. Is he going to be able to hold on to that?
NFC Championship,
Okay.
AFC Championship.
Oh, let's go. And 1.
Jalen Cook, coach. Oh, that's a foul for sure.
Yeah, let's go. All right.
Hold on.
What?
Let's get out of here.
Oh, yeah.
Watch the
Let's
game.
go. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of this game.
All right.
LSU's going
65,
at the line, at the line and
17
shoot free
seconds
throws.
left.
No doubt. We love you. Appreciate you. See you on Friday. Peace.
LSU, I saw you.